weekend?
Why are the barricades after road closure?
They had the Wine Squirrel over the weekend. And food trucks and vendors and
Oh, yeah, we were out of town. I'd forgotten about that.
I think it was well attended. We didn't go. I guess we'll go ahead and start if you want me to. All right. I'd like to call the meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission for February the 10th. It is now 5:01. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. The first item on the agenda will be approval of minutes and consider and take action for the minutes for January 6, 2020 regular session. If everyone will review those. Any changes that anyone sees need to be made?
No.
Okay. So, if not, then I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion we approve the minutes as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. We'll move on to agenda item 3, public hearing. Consider the request for a zone change from B2 general business to R4 multifamily for lots 6 and 7A of City Block 54, Block 2 of the SM Orton subdivision located at 1111 Murray Street. This request has been submitted by Sam Wright.
Thank you, Commission. Elena Chafin, Director of Planning. Tonight's request is to rezone approximately 0.39 acres from B2 General Business to R4 Multifamily, located on the northeast corner of Wedgwood Street and Murray Street. The property has frontage onto both Wedgwood and Murray Street and is currently vacant. If the rezoning request is approved, the applicant intends to develop the property with duplexes. The abutting properties are zoned B2 General Business to the north, B2 General Business and R4 Multifamily to the east and south, and B2 General Business to the west. The area includes a mix of uses, including multifamily residences and a daycare center to the north, a counseling center to the east, multifamily and single-family residences to the south, and to the west across Wedgwood Street are attorney offices and a salon. The more intense commercial activity in the area is concentrated along the west side of Wedgwood Street, with businesses taking primary frontage from University Drive, while the residential development is concentrated on the east side of Wedgwood Street. The comprehensive plan future land use map does designate this area as commercial. However, the land use plan also identifies single-family and multifamily uses within the vicinity just east of the subject property. As stated, the current land uses in the area do include a mix of commercial and residential developments, with properties on the east side of Wedgwood Drive developed with multifamily and single-family residences. And while the land use plan does designate the property as commercial, the future land use plan isn't meant to be parcel specific and is more intended to help guide city officials and residences visualize the overall intended goal and development pattern for a certain area. And so staff finds that while the future land use plan designates the property as commercial, the rezoning is consistent with the 2003 comprehensive plan because it helps achieve some of the long-term goals and objectives of the plan, including the goal of inward growth or infill development, to achieve an efficient, diverse, and balanced pattern of land uses. And some of the targeted objectives of this goal are outlined on your screen. They include encouraging infill development where appropriate, planning for mixing and or separation of land use types based on desired location density and pattern of development, and promotion of growth where adequate infrastructure already exists. The rezoning request will be infill development that will ensure a balance of uses within the area while providing a variety of housing types in order to serve the needs of the Nacogdoches residents. And in this regard, though the area has not been designated as multifamily, staff finds that the rezoning is consistent with the comprehensive plan. Per the FEMA floodplain map, a small area of the property in the northwest corner does fall within the floodplain area, and any new construction of the property will be subject to the city's floodplain management ordinance. So in summary, staff recommends approval of the rezoning request from B2 General Business to R4 Multifamily based on the following findings, which includes the property having frontage on 2 local streets and being located in an area with a mix of residential and commercial uses. Wedgwood Street acts as a buffer between the commercial developments that front University Drive and the residential development pattern on the east side of Wedgwood Street. and the rezoning of the tract to R4 multifamily would be compatible with the adjacent land uses. The staff sent out 18 notices to property owners within the 200-foot notification area, and we did receive one phone call with general questions regarding the request. This item is scheduled to be heard at the February 18th City Council meeting, and the applicant is also in attendance if you have any questions, and staff is available for questions.
Does anyone have any questions? It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I was going to open it up to the floor. This is an open forum, so anyone that'd like to speak for or against, feel free to come up and speak regarding this rezone. Hey, state your name if you don't mind.
My name is Landrum, and my husband and I are owners of, I believe, I couldn't tell exactly on the screen, we're the owners of, it looks like lots, it's right across the street from the proposed development.
Okay, it looks like 232 Wedgewood, probably.
Yes, sir, that is, that's the address. We've owned the fourplex there for 4 years, and I did get, we got the notices, and we've been very happy with things that Sam Wright has built along Tanglewood, and have no doubt that he would build something of quality there. My husband and I are in favor of the rezoning, and we own the property within 20 feet of it. So I've talked to Mr. Wright. I've talked to, there was another person who sent out a notice to, I guess one of my tenants got it, and he delivered it to us. She was concerned about, low-income housing or Section 8 housing, and I was able to speak to Mr. Wright and, find that he was, wanting to put in something of quality that would be, with a stone exterior that would be, improve the quality of the neighborhood. And I do think that that is something that, the tenants that we had prior to assuming ownership of the property, some of them were rather dubious characters. One of them had been arrested numerous times. We evicted them, and we've, over time, remodeled the various apartments. We have one left to remodel, and we would like to do the exterior as well. So, seeing that, our goal is in property improvement, and I see that what Mr. Wright's doing next door, it can only improve the quality of the neighborhood. And Tanglewood, in general, is a nice area, and I kind of see that bringing it toward Wedgewood. So, I'm in favor of it, and I appreciate your time and your consideration.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Oh.
Anyone else? Feel free to come up. Yes. If you just state your name for us, please.
I'm Kay Bowers. I would like to ask Mr. Wright, is it going to be Section 8 housing?
No.
It's not?
If you could come up and speak to, if you don't mind, please do. Yeah, if you don't mind, that way we can just have it for the record. State your name, yes.
My name is Sam Wright. My plan is not to do Section 8 or government-assisted housing. It's not really in my business plan, and we've done okay without it so far, so I think that's it.
And I was wondering, your units that you're going to have, how many bedrooms and bath per unit are you having?
My plans are each one will be a 3-bedroom, 2-bath place.
Okay, so families.
Family size, yes. There may be, we do put a few college kids into them, but we screen our tenants pretty thoroughly. We try not to let anyone just get in there. For me, it's an investment, right? So I don't really want the value of that to long term.
Is it a long-term investment?
I hope so.
Okay.
So that's, I have plans if anyone would like to just show them. I don't know. So I do have a paper set to show kind of the layout. It was originally when I bought the property, I did have an idea for trying to put some small business units in there, but I just, after talking with several people, it just wasn't going to work out as well as doing a residential development. and it will actually be almost a self-contained area. There'll be no parking on the street for it. It's all contained within the lot.
Is there gonna be any place in there, since it's gonna be family units, there'll be children?
Yes, well,
So what about, that's lots of traffic and close to the businesses and close to the splash park, and so where are the children gonna go?
well, I don't have a plan for a playground in there as such. However, they do each all have backyards, a reasonable sized backyard, fenced backyard, and so there is suitable space on there for those.
Children.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, I didn't build it with the intention of putting a playground in there or an adventure park or anything like that. However, they are more than welcome to walk up and down the creek and try to get bit by snakes or fall in. But yeah, that was kind of my overall goal with it. And they were in between the units, because they actually face each other. There is a fairly large parking lot there for them to ride bikes and so on in. But my plan actually has 3 entrances to. 1 to Wedgwood and 2 to Murray Street from there. So I'll be happy to show you the plan
No,
if you like.
those were just questions.
Okay.
I was wondering about that. And it's gonna be, how many units?
8.
8, okay,
There's 4 duplexes.
okay.
So
2-story,
single story.
single story, okay.
That's my plan as of now. Changes. It's gone through several revisions.
Sure.
Guys down there at 215 engineering will tell you I've spent a lot of time going backwards and forwards on it. So.
Okay, well, I just wanted to, I don't have any more questions, thank you. I'm a property owner. I own the fourplex at 216 Wedgwood.
Okay.
And I've been there for a long time, and, the street, it's got the 2 fourplexes, and it's got homeowners, it's got, some rental. And so, it's just been this stable neighborhood, all these years. There's not been any changes on that street. And that lot that he's got is, it's been looking terrible for a long time. And so I just had a concern about, changing the dynamics of the neighborhood. But if it's not going to be Section 8 housing, that's a positive note, because like the other lady said, she's had problems, overcoming issues with renters, and I also did in the beginning. So we do want to upgrade the neighborhood, and we don't want it to be a place where I realize that, with 8 more families, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, there will be a lot more traffic. There will be more traffic. There will be children. I kind of wondered about the foot traffic with children, in the neighborhood, because it is that area right there is really tight with the streets, Tanglewood, just a couple of blocks, backs up to the businesses that are there, they're the back side of those. And so those are just some concerns, and the other thing is to think about. I really like the idea of having offices or a small business, mainly something like offices there that would blend right in with the neighborhood, with the close access to University Drive, and it really wouldn't change the character of the neighborhood too. So those are just some concerns I had, that as a property owner, that I wanted that to be, said.
Sure. Well, thank you very much. Howdy.
My name's Ed Benchoff. I'm a lawyer here in town. My father built the law office at 316 University in the early 70s. And it sounds like Mr. Wyatt's plan's very nice. I'm not here to denigrate his plan at all, but I'm concerned about increased foot traffic. I'm also concerned about the protections that zoning affords prospective people. Citizens ought to be able to invest in property, to act upon the city's assurances that something's going to be zoned the way it's zoned for a long time. And it seems to me that the city is not at all reluctant to change zoning. It's happened to me in my neighborhood. I live on East Austin Street. And I wish that our city would pay more attention to its zoning ordinance. They're there not only for, well, it seems like they're changed pretty frequently. Zoning changes are not something that's a rarity in this town, but instead it seems to me that there's something that's happening way too frequently and to the detriment of people that are invested already in neighborhoods, such as my neighborhood on East Austin, such as my building on University Drive. So with all due respect to Mr. White, it sounds like he's got good intentions, but nevertheless, the increased traffic, the increased use of the property after business hours makes me concerned about the safety of my building. The foot traffic would be increased. It's already substantial across my lot. The water parks increased foot traffic in this area too, and so this is going to continue that. And I don't want to have to put guards at my building at night. And I don't speak for anybody next door to me, but I don't imagine anyone who has a business there wants to open up their business, or even to the possibility that there's going to be vandalism or mischief on their property. And so for those reasons, I object to it, and I respectfully ask you to decline to grant the zoning change. Thank you.
Anyone else? Did anybody have any more questions for city staff?
No, I have a comment or
Okay,
two.
please.
Am I free to do that? I'm privileged to live on Tanglewood Circle up the hill from where we're talking about, and I didn't realize this was part of it until I got the packet. What Sam Wright has done on the backside, I think of it as the backside of Tanglewood Circle. If you're going up the hill, it's to the right side, where he has invested quite a bit of money and has taken some property that I thought was probably unbuildable and has built some very nice homes along there. And it has, in my mind, it has been quite an addition to the neighborhood. When I saw that Sam was proposing to do something on this vacant property that is quite an eyesore, all I could think of was that it was value added just because of the quality of what Sam has brought to his projects before. Those were my initial reactions. I think Mr. Benchoff makes a very good point about zoning ordinances being changed willy-nilly or too quickly, but I think we also have to stand ready as things evolve in our town, or businesses are not forthcoming to build on areas that were originally zoned for that purpose, that if it meets with the plans of the comprehensive plan, as the city planner pointed out, that we have to be ready to make those adjustments thoughtfully. That's all I had to say.
Anyone else? Elena, did you have anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, anyone else like to speak for or against? I'll open it for a motion to either move forward and accept the zone change or to decline the zone change. Anyone for or against?
I'd make a motion to approve the request for the zoning change.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. They will be zoned to R4. And then the final, I think that's all we have actually for number 4. I'd like to take just a moment to, actually, if I could, introduce our interim city manager, Mr. James R. Hogan, Rod Hogan. Just wanted to welcome him to Nacogdoches, and I know he has quite a bit of experience, and just like the opportunity to introduce him and welcome him to Nacogdoches. So thank you for attending, and thank you for being here. I think that's all we have. I'd like to adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.